Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Oscars special. Thank you for joining me as I share with you my Oscar predictions. So, first category is animated feature film, and the nominees are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. So, I am hoping that the Academy votes for Pinocchio. It's a very dark film, darker than I expected it to be, and based on what I have read about the story and the author of the story of Pinocchio, the author wanted it to be a dark story. So it seems as though that Del Toro wanted to go back to the original source and make it much more darker than Disney's version of Pinocchio, which is perfectly okay because that works for me. So let's move on. The next category is for cinematography, and the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. So, in my humble opinion, I think the Academy is going to vote for All Quiet on the Western Front. However, my vote is for Elvis. Um, Baz Luhrmann worked with a female DP, Mandy Walker, and she is the third female DP that's been nominated for cinematography in the history of the Academy Awards. And if she wins tomorrow night, she will be the first woman to actually win. Okay, so next category is for costume design. And the nominees are Babylon, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Miss Harris Goes to Paris. So my vote is on Black Panther Wakanda Forever with Elvis as a close second. The costumes in the funeral scene was absolutely breathtaking, and also the costumes for the people who live underwater. Those costumes were gorgeous as well. So I'm leaning towards Ruth Carter. Next category is documentary feature, and the nominees are All That Breeds, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. Now, as an artist, you would think that I would vote for All the Beauty and All the Bloodshed because um, it's basically a story about a woman using art as a form of protest, which I think is a beautiful idea. And it shows the power of art and what art can do. But I think that the Academy will probably vote for All That Breeds. And what I find interesting about All That Breeds is that even though it's a documentary, it is shot like a feature. So you don't get like this narrator, this single narrator talking throughout the entire film, describing what's going on. You just see things unfolding um, from scene to scene. And so it's a very interesting documentary. However, I think that the documentary that needs to win is Navalny because for those of you who might not know who Navalny is, Alexei Navalny is considered to be Putin's number one adversary and Putin's number one threat to his power. And clearly, he is opposed to the Russian Ukrainian war. And as of right now, I believe he is still in prison. If the Academy gives it to Navalny, it would definitely remind the public not to forget about Alexei Navalny and the work that he's been doing in terms of calling Putin out on his evilness. So when you think about another documentary that was nominated, A House Made of Splinters, which follows orphans in a Ukrainian orphanage during this Russian-Ukrainian war, you see that Navalny's work um, and his opposition towards Putin is extremely important. And, it's just a reminder that when the Russian Ukrainian war broke out, the first people to rise up and protest against the war were Russians who marched and protested in Moscow and St. Petersburg. The next category is documentary short, and the nominees are The Elephant Whisperers, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger at the Gate. So, Haul Out was a learning experience. The Martha Mitchell Effect was a learning experience. Stranger at the Gate was a very powerful story. However, my favorite out of the five is The Elephant Whisperers. This documentary is about a couple who runs an elephant sanctuary in South India. And this is the only documentary short that actually made me cry. I was not expecting the film to make me that emotional, but it did. And so I just think that it's just a beautiful love story between people and the elephants that they care for. Next category is film editing. And the nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. So when it comes to film editing, I am hoping that the Academy votes for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I'm rooting for that film because this film is about the multiverse. And so it can get a little bit confusing to watch a movie about that kind of subject. So in terms of telling the story so that we can understand and without getting the audience confused, you're going to need two things. You're going to need a great script and you're going to need a great film editor. And I think that the reason why we have been able to enjoy the film and not get confused when the main character jumps from universe to universe is because of the film editing. The next category is hair and makeup. And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. So I am rooting for The Batman. I hope that it wins, and I think it should win. And the reason why I am for Batman all the way in terms of hair and makeup is Colin Farrell. Okay, when I saw interviews that they did before the Batman came out, we all knew that Colin Farrell would play the Penguin. However, when I actually went into the theater and saw the film, I was amazed. It did not look like Colin Farrell. And not only that, but because Colin Farrell is such a brilliant actor, he didn't even sound like himself. He got rid of his Irish accent, and so he literally disappeared into the Penguin, and it's like you just don't see Colin Farrell. You see the Penguin, and it is really, I mean, the hair and makeup team are just a bunch of magicians in terms of what they did to Colin Farrell. So for that alone, like, please give this Oscar to the hair and makeup team for Batman, okay? The next category is original score. And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch Babylon, and I've heard that it has a great score. However, because I didn't watch it, I can't put any judgment on it. But what I can say that out of the other four in the category, my pick is The Fabelmans. I was watching an interview that Stephen Colbert recently did with Steven Spielberg and John Williams, and folks, Steven Spielberg and John Williams have worked on 29 films together. Okay, we all know the famous soundtracks that John Williams has composed in the past. And you would think that by this time he would run out of musical ideas. And here comes The Fablemans, and it's like he has, these ideas, and the soundtrack and the score does not sound like anything that he has done. And it's just, it just really adds to the storytelling. So I have to say that I'm going with John Williams on this one. But if anyone else wins the Oscar for Best Original Score, I would not be upset, but I'm cheering for John Williams. So the next category is Best Original Song. And the nominees are Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, music and lyrics by Diane Warren. Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, music and lyrics by Lady Gaga and Blood Pop. Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, music and lyrics by Thames, Rihanna, Ryan Coogler, Ludwig Göransson. Next, Not To from RRR, Triple R, music by MM Keeravani and Chandra Bose. This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once, music by Ryan Lott, David Byrne and Mitski, lyric by Ryan Lott and David Byrne. So I have to be honest, folks. In my opinion, this is the worst category of this year's Oscars because um, you know that something is wrong when the song in the Oscars promo commercials are better than the songs that were nominated for Best Original Song. And if you guys don't know the name of the song in the Oscars commercials, it is Spitting Off the Edge of the World by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. And I just think it's a great song. I'm not saying this because I'm a rock music fan, because I'm actually a fan of Lady Gaga and Rihanna, okay? And I'm also a fan of Indian cinema music. But if I was to pick a favorite out of the five, I would go for This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Next category is for short film animated. And the nominees are The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks, and An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake and I Think I Believe It. So, in terms of screenplay, out of the five animated shorts, my favorite screenplay is for My Year of Dicks. However, my favorite animated short is An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake and I Think I Believe It. If you have not watched that film, it's only 12 minutes long and you can find it on Vimeo. And I highly recommend that you watch it. It is such a wonderful film. The nominees for adapted screenplay are All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. I think, and I think that the Academy should give this award to All Quiet on the Western Front. The nominees for Best Original Screenplay are The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. I must admit that this is probably the toughest category of this year's Oscars. This is a very, very tight race, and it can go either way. So I can't really make up my mind. For me, it's a two-way tie between Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Fablemans. However, it is possible that the Academy might give it to The Triangle of Sadness. The next category is actor in a leading role, and the nominees are Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Living. So, if you have been paying attention to the entire awards season, Brendan Fraser has been beating out the other nominees in previous awards, like the SAG Awards, the Golden Globes, I think, if I remember correctly. And so I think that the Academy is going to do the obvious and give the Oscar to Brendan Fraser. And I wouldn't be mad because I've been a long time fan of Brendan Fraser. So I would be really happy if he won the award. However, I am rooting for Austin Butler. If I went to church tomorrow before the Oscar ceremony and I was to light a candle and pray on it, I would be praying for Austin Butler. It's just one of those things where, like I said in my movie review, I didn't think he was going to get nominated because the movie came out in June, but here we are, and he's been nominated. So clearly, a lot of people saw what I saw at the movie theaters last year June. So I am just ecstatic that he actually got this nomination. Actor in a supporting role. The nominees are Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke Huy Quan, Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is another category where Ke Huy Quan has been receiving accolades in previous awards during the award season. And so it seems as though that this is a done deal and he's going to get the Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I think he deserves it. And yeah, this movie would not be complete without him and his character. So this is well deserved. And if anyone else besides him gets this award, I would be completely shocked. But I don't think we're going to get shocked tomorrow night. He's going to win. The next category is actress in a leading role. And the nominees are Kate Blanchett for Tar, Anna de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Um, Again, just like Ke Huy Quan, Michelle Yeoh has been racking up accolades and awards this entire award season, and she seems to be on a great wave towards winning the Oscar. And after being in the film industry for the past 30 something years, it is time to give Michelle Yeoh the Oscar that she has long deserved. If anyone else besides her win, I say we need to protest, we need to riot. This is She has to get it. She should get it. So I'm betting on Michelle Yeoh. For the last but not least, actress in a supporting role. And the nominees are Angela Bassett for The Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Sue, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So this is another, this one I'm not quite sure. Um, I'm basing my prediction on what happened at the SAG Awards a couple of Sundays ago, where I was shocked. Jamie Lee Curtis beat out the other four nominees in the category. So I think that the Academy is going to give it to Jamie Lee Curtis. However, I am hoping that Angela Bassett wins, and I think Angela Bassett should win. When you watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever, her character is such an important character in the movie that I understand why um she ended up in the supporting role, but in the first part of the movie, she kind of feels like she is also a lead actress along with the actress who played Shuri. And so, the fact that she didn't get nominated in the leading role category, and she's been nominated for supporting role. I do think that Angela Bassett has paid her dues, and she deserves this Oscar. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Angela Bassett, but if Jamie Lee Curtis gets it, don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we got two more categories to cover, and the next one is directing. The nominees are Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for The Triangle of Sadness. So, my vote is for Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Last but not least, Best Picture. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. So for Best Picture, I am hoping that Everything Everywhere All at Once gets the top prize of the night. However, don't be surprised if the Academy votes for All Quiet on the Western Front. It might just get it based on what the Academy has voted for in the past. Okay? So, from a traditional standpoint, they might give it to All Quiet on the Western Front. However, if they want to look to the future and if they want to change for the better, they're going to give it to Everything Everywhere All at Once. So thank you for watching my first Oscar special. I am so happy you spent some time here with me. Post your comments below to participate in the conversation, and I hope that you will join me tomorrow in watching the Oscars. The Oscar ceremony will start at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our host for the evening will be Jimmy Kimmel. Take care, everybody, and have a good night.